but she has guests this afternoon. Who wants her? Oh, wait just a minute. Hold on just a minute. Psst, Mother! Psst, Mother!
Yes, dear?
The telephone.
Oh, no, dear. Not with all these guests around. Say I'm busy.
But, Mother, it's the society editor of the Evening Newsfeed.
Oh, the society editor. Well, she's very important. Good afternoon, Miss Ellerby. Yes, this is Vita Simmons. Yes, a tea and reception for the members of the Wednesday firm. You might say program tea. My mother, the late Miss Penny Dowd, pioneer cultural leader, and she came here by Oxford and founded the Wednesday firm. So inspirational. Myrtle, how many would you say?
75, at least. Say 100.
75. Miss Tewksbury is the soloist, accompanied by Wilda McCurdy, accompanist.
Mother, Miss Tewksbury's almost finished with her number.
She'll do an encore.
But what if she doesn't get a lot of applause?
I've known her for years. She will do an encore. You might say I'm entertaining, assisted by my daughter, Miss Myrtle May Simmons. What color would you call that, Myrtle?
Rancho Rose, they told me.
Miss Myrtle May Simmons looked charming in a modest Rancho Rose tone gown, picked up with a girdle with a touch of emerald and magenta. I wished you could see her, Miss Tewksbury.
Mother, please, she's almost finished. And where are the caterings?
Everything's ready. The minute those doors open up, I want you to introduce the parlors. The parlors and halls were festoons with similacs. Yes, that's right, festoons.
Mother, come.
Miss Ellerby, this is the first party we've had in years. There is a reason, but I don't want to put that in the papers.
Mother!
We all have our troubles, Miss Ellerby. The guest list? Oh, yes.
Mother, Miss Chauvenet just came in.
If you'll excuse me now, Miss Ellerby, I'll call you later. Miss Eugene Chauvenet Sr. Her father was a scout with Buffalo Bill, I recall.
So that's where she got that hat.
Myrtle May, you must be kind to Miss Chauvenet. She has a grandson your age. Lucky.
But what difference will it make with Uncle Elwood?
Myrtle May, remember, we agreed not to talk about this afternoon. The whole point of this party is okay, you started out. We worked through the older groups to get into the younger ones.
But what difference will it make? We can't have anyone here in the evenings, and that's when men come to see you in the evenings. The only reason we can even have a party this afternoon is because Uncle Elwood is off playing pinochle at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. Thank God for that firehouse.
I know, but they'll just have to invite you out, and it won't hurt them one bit. Oh, Myrtle, you've got so much to offer. I don't care what anybody says. There's something sweet about a young girl, and a man takes that sweetness and look what he does with it. But you've got to meet someone, Myrtle. That's all there is to it.
If I do, they say, that's Myrtle May Simmons. Her uncle is Elwood P. Dowd. Elwood P. Dowd and his pal.
You promised!
I'm sorry, but let's get them into the dining room.
Now, when the members come in here, make sure to bring the welcome speech on behalf of your grandmother, and make sure to do this.
And then, after that, I'll say a few words about my Uncle Elwood and his pal, Harvey. Damn, Harvey.
Myrtle May, that's right. Let everybody in the Wednesday firm hear. You said that you wouldn't say that name. You promised, and you said it.
I'm sorry, Mother, but how do you know Uncle Elwood won't come in here and introduce Harvey to everyone?
This is unkind of you, Myrtle May. Elwood is the biggest heartache. Even if people do call him peculiar, he's still my brother. And he won't be here this afternoon.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
But, Mother, why can't we live like other people?
Must I remind you again? Elwood is not living with us. We are living with him.
Living with him and Harvey. Did Grandmother know about Harvey?
I wondered and wondered about that. He never did. He never wrote to me.
Why did she have to leave all her property to Uncle Elwood?
Well, I suppose it's because she died in Elwood's arms. See, people are sentimental about these things.
But you always say that and it doesn't make sense. She could have made up her will after she died, could she?
Don't be didactic, Myrtle May. It's not becoming a young girl and then loaded. Now, don't forget to wave your hand like this.
I'll do my best.
Oh dear, Miss Tewsbury's voice is certainly fading.
Not fast enough.
Lovely, Miss Tewsbury. Perfectly lovely. I loved it.
Excuse me for a minute, Harvey. I have to answer the phone. Make yourself comfortable. Hello? Oh, you've got the wrong number. But how are you anyway? This is Elwood P speaking. What's your name, my dear? Miss Elsie Greenwald. Harvey, it's a Miss Elsie Greenwald. And how are you today, Miss Greenwald? That's fine, yes. Oh, yes, I would be delighted to join your club. I belong to quite a few clubs now. The University Club, the Country Club, and the Pinochle Club down at the 4th Avenue Firehouse. I spend a good deal of my time down there, or at Eddie's place, or over at Charlie's Bar. And what is your club, my dear? Harvey, I can get Good Housekeeping, the Ladies' Home Journal, and the Open Road for Boys for 2 years for $6.25. It sounds good to me, my dear. I'll join. How does it sound to you, Harvey? Ah, yes. Harvey says it sounds good to him also. Yes, that's right, 2 subscriptions. Mail everything to this address. And I do hope I'll have the pleasure of meeting you someday, my dear. Harvey, she says she'd like to meet me. When? When would you like to meet me, my dear? Well, why not right now? My sister seems to be having a few friends in, and we would consider it an honour if you would join us. My sister will be delighted. 343 Temple Drive. Yes, I hope to see you in a very few minutes, my dear. Bye. She's coming right over. Don't you think we'd better go freshen up? Yes, so do I.
I can't see you very well. I must see you this afternoon. Need it, Miss Johnson.
I have it.
Can you look in my dresser right now?
Mother, Mrs. Chauvin is looking for you. Here's Mother, Mrs. Chauvin. Here she is.
Aunt Ethel.
Rita, I thought you were dead.
Oh no, dead? I'm very much alive, thank you.
And this full-grown daughter of yours. I've known you since you were a baby.
I know.
What's your name, dear?
This is Myrtle, Aunt Ethel. Myrtle May, for the 2 sisters of my father. That's why you were confused.
Where's Elwood?
He couldn't be here, Aunt Ethel. Now, let me get you some tea. It's wonderful.
That's a shame. He's the main reason I came.
Come. There are loads of people anxious to speak to you.
Do you realize, Vita? It's been so long since I've seen Elwood.
No, where does this time go?
What a shame. But is Elwood happy, Vita?
Yes. Elwood is very happy, Aunt Ethel. Now, you don't need to worry about Elwood. Why, there's Mrs. Frank Cummings. Don't you want to speak to her?
What? She looks asleep. Hasn't she failed, though?
If you think she looks badly, you should see him.
Now, Vita, some tea, perhaps?
Certainly. Certainly. If you will forgive me, I must enter you into a wonderful, wonderful
Elwood! Elwood Dowd!
Aunt Ethel, it's a pleasure to come in and find a beautiful woman waiting for me.
Elwood, you haven't changed.
Come along, Aunt Ethel. You mustn't wait for the party.
There's punch if you don't like tea.
But I do like tea. Stop calling at me. Elwood, what time next week are you free for dinner?
Oh, any night at all, Aunt Ethel. It would be a pleasure.
Elwood, there's some mail for you. I left it up in your room.
Did you, Rita? That was kind of you. Aunt Ethel, I want you to meet Harvey. As you can see, he's a pooka. Harvey, this is Mrs. Chauvenet. We always called her Aunt Ethel. She is one of my oldest and dearest friends. Hi, yes, that's right. This is the one. He says he would have known you anywhere. You both look lovely. Come along then, Harvey. We must say hello to all of our friends. Excuse me, Aunt Ethel.
What?
You're standing in his way.
Oh.
Come along, Harvey. There we go. Go right on in. I'll join you in a minute. Aunt Ethel, I can see you're disturbed by Harvey. Please don't be. He stares like that at everybody. It's his way. But he liked you. I can tell. He liked you very much.
Some tea, perhaps?
Well, not right now.
It's delicious.
But
I think I'll have to be going right now. Goodbye, Rita.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. Myrtle, where are you going?
Up to my room. I can't face those people now. He's introducing Harvey to everyone. I wish I was dead.
Come back here. Stay with me, please. We'll get him out of the house and into his room or something.
I won't do it. I can't.
Myrtle May. Now, tend and fixing your corsage.
Oh, Mother.
We've got to pretend we're having a gay little chat. Keep looking. When you catch his eye, tell me. He always comes when I call him. Now, you see him?
No, not yet. Oh, hello, Mrs. Cummings. How do you do?
Smile, can't you? Have you no pride? I'm smiling. God is in him. He's my own brother.
Oh, Mother, people get run over by trucks every day. Why can't something like that just happen to Uncle Elwood?
Myrtle May Simmons! I'm ashamed of you. This thing is not your uncle's fault.
Ouch, you're sticking with that pin.
That's Miss Ellerby. Keep looking. Keep smiling.
Oh, Miss Cummings is leaving. Oh my God, Harvey Uncle Elwood must have told her what Harvey is.
Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Simmons. Should you come in the clothes you have on? Well, what do you have on? I'm sorry, who is this? Well, I don't know, Mrs. Greenwald. Should you what? I'm sorry. Who invited you? Mr. Dowd. Thank you. Just the same, but I believe there has been a mistake. Well, I never!
Never what?
One of your uncle's friends, she asked me if she could bring a quart of gin to the Wednesday firm.
There he is. He's talking to Miss Halsey.
Is Harvey with him?
What a thing to ask. How would I know? How can anyone know about Uncle Elwood?
Oh, Elwood, could I see you here a minute, dear?
Mother, what did you mean just now when you said this thing wasn't Uncle Elwood's fault?
Never mind. I know whose fault it is. Now, lift your head up high and smile, and go back in as if nothing ever happened.
You're no match for Uncle Elwood.
You'll see.
Mother's waiting for you.
Oh, Elwood! Hi. Could I see you here a moment, dear?
Oh, yes, sister. Excuse me a moment, Harvey.
Elwood, would you mind sitting down? I must discuss something with you.
Of course, sister. I happen to have a little free time right now, and you're welcome to all of it. Would you like Harvey to wait as well?
Yes, certainly. I would like Elwood to come. Thank you.
Sit down, Harvey. Rita says she's something important to tell us. I think she wants to congratulate us on the brilliant impression we made at her party. Jane Austen. Jane Austen limited edition. Grosset in Dunham. Yes, the usual acknowledgements. Chapter 1.
Mrs. O.R. Simmons, 343 Temple Drive. Is that right?
Yes, we were born and raised there. It's old, but we love it. It's our home.
And you wish to enter your brother here at the sanitarium. Your brother's name?
It's
Mrs. Simmons, what is your brother's name?
I'm sorry. Life's not easy for any of us. I had to hold my head up high and go on just the same. That's what I keep telling Myrtle May, and that's what Myrtle May keeps telling me. She's heartbroken over her uncle. Uncle Elwood. Elwood P. Dowd. That's it.
Elwood P. Dowd. His age?
47. The 24th of April. He's a Taurus. Taurus the bull. I'm a Leo and
47. Is he married?
no, Elwood never married. He was always a great homeboy. He loved his home.
Do you have him with you?
He's in a taxi cab down at the drive-thru. I gave the taxi cab $1, but I didn't tell him why we were here. You can't tell these things to perfect strangers.
Wilson, will you please go down to the cab and see if Mr. Dowd will be so kind to step up to room number 24, South Wing G. This is his sister, Mrs. Simmons. The rates here, Mrs. Simmons. You'll find them pretty on this card.
That will all be taken care of, please, by my mother's estate, the late Marcina Penny Dowd. Judge Gaffney is our attorney, see?
Now, I'll see if Dr. Sanderson can come see you.
Dr. Sanderson, I'm sorry. I wish to speak to Dr. Chumley himself.
Oh, Mrs. Simmons. Dr. Sanderson is the one who sees everybody. Dr. Chumley sees no one.
But he's still head of the institution, isn't he? He's still a psychiatrist, isn't he?
Still a psychiatrist. Dr. Chumley is more than that. He is a psychiatrist with a national reputation. Whenever someone has mental breakdowns, they think of once of Dr. Chumley.
That's his office, isn't it? Well, you march in there and say that I want to speak with him. If he knows who's out here, he'll come out.
I wouldn't dare disturb him, Mrs. Simmons. I'd have me discharged if I did.
Well, I don't like to be played off to any second fiddle.
Dr. Sanderson is no one's second fiddle. He is young, of course, and he hasn't been out of medical school for very long. But Dr. Chumley tried out 12 and kept Dr. Sanderson. He is really wonderful. To the patients.
Tell him I'm here.
Right away.
Peter, isn't this wonderful?
Mrs. Simmons.
Oh dear, I didn't hear you. You startled me. Yours.
Tells me about your brother. Dowd, is it? Elwood P. Dowd.
Yes. I hope you don't think I'm jumping like that all the time. But under this circumstance, I'm just a little bit.
That's okay. I understand.
Yes, doctor, this isn't easy for me.
Naturally. These things are easy for families of patients. I understand.
It's just what Elwood's doing to himself. That's the thing. Myrtle May and I have a right to have nice friends. She's young and she has her whole life ahead of her. See, that's my daughter.
Your daughter. How long has it been since you noticed any peculiarity in your brother's actions?
Well, I noticed it right away when my mother died. Myrtle May and I came back from Des Moines to live with Elwood. I could see that
That he what? Take your time, Miss Simmons. Don't strain. Let it come. I'll wait.
Doctor, everything I say to you is confidential, isn't it?
That is correct.
Because it's a big slap in the face to everything we stood for in this community, the way Elle was acting now.
I'm not a gossip, Mrs. Simmons. I'm a psychiatrist.
Well, for one thing, he drinks.
To excess?
To excess. Well, wouldn't you call it excess when a man never lets a day go by without stepping into one of those cheap taverns, sitting around with the riffraff and people you've never even heard of, inviting them to your house, playing cards with them, giving them food and money, and here I am trying to get Myrtle May started up with a nice group of young people. If that isn't excess, well, I'm not sure what excess is.
I didn't doubt your statement, Miss Simmons. I merely asked if your brother drinks.
Well, yes, I say definitely Elwood drinks. And I want him committed out here permanently because I cannot stand another day at that Harvey. We have to set a table for Harvey. We have to move over on the sofa for Harvey. We have to answer the phone when Elwood talks and asks to speak to Harvey. And then at the party this afternoon, with Miss Chauvenet there, we didn't even know about Elwood coming back until later. Doctor, don't you think it would have been a little bit, I don't know, kinder of my mother if she would have written to me and told me about Harvey? Be honest now. Do you?
I really couldn't answer that question because
Yes, it certainly would have.
Now, this person you call Harvey, who is he?
Well, he's a rabbit.
Perhaps, but just who is he? Some old friend, a companion, or someone your brother picked up in one of these bars of whom you disapprove?
Doctor, do I have to keep telling you? Harvey is a rabbit. A big, 6 feet white rabbit. Or 6 feet and a half. Oh, heaven knows. Whatever. He's been around the house long enough.
Okay, wait, let me understand this. You're saying that this...
Doctor, do I have to keep repeating myself? My brother insists that his closest friend is Harvey. Harvey is a rabbit. Harvey lives at our house. Don't you understand? He and Elwood go every place together. Elwood buys railroad tickets, theater tickets for the both of them. As I told Myrtle May, if your uncle was so lonesome, why couldn't he bring something home human? He has me, doesn't he? He has Myrtle May, doesn't he? Doctor, I'm gonna tell you something I've never told anyone before. You see, every once in a while, I see that big white rabbit. Well, now, isn't that funny? I've never even told that to Myrtle May. Now, don't you tell that to anyone.
Mrs. Simmons.
And it's even more. Every bit as big as Elwood says he is.
I can see that you've been under a great nervous strain recently.
Well, I certainly have.
Grief over your mother's death depressed you considerably?
Nobody knows how much.
Been losing sleep?
How could anyone sleep with what's going on?
Short-tempered over trifles?
You just try living with those two and see how your temper holds up.
Loss of appetite?
No one can eat at the table with my brother and his husband. Well, I'm finished with it. I'll sell the house, be appointed Elwood's estate, and then me and Myrtle will be able to entertain our guests in peace. It's just too much, Doctor. I just can't stand it anymore.
It's okay, I understand. You're tired.
Yes, I am.
And now I am going to help you. Just sit right there, Mrs. Simmons, okay?
Oh, Doctor. No. I'll just go to the cab and get Elwood's things.
Why didn't someone answer the buzzer?
I didn't hear you, Doctor.
I rang and I rang. Mrs. Simmons, sound the gong, listen. That poor woman was not leave the grounds.
She's made with a getaway, huh, Doc?
Her condition is serious. Go after her.
I can't believe it.
Main gate? Henry? Dr. Sampson, allow no one out of the main gate. We're looking for a patient. I shouldn't have left her alone, but no one answered the buzzer.
Wilson was in South, Doctor.
What have we available, Miss Kelly?
Number 13 Upper West Star is ready, Doctor.
Have her taken there immediately. I'll prescribe preliminary treatment. What's contact her brother? Dowd, is it? Elwood P. Dowd? Get him on the telephone, please, Miss Kelly.
But, Doctor, I didn't know it was the woman who needed treatment. She said it was for her brother.
Of course she did. It's the oldest trick in the book, always used by a cunning type of psychopath. She apparently knew her brother was out here to commit her, so she came here to discredit him. Get him on the telephone for me, will you please?
But Doctor, I thought the woman was all right, so I had Wilson take the brother up to number 24 South G. He's there now.
You had Wilson take the brother in? No jokes, please, Kelly.
Yeah, I did, Doctor. I did. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, well, then if you're sorry, that fixes everything. Oh, no!
I'll do it, Doctor. I'll do it. Miss Dunphy, will you please unlock the door to number 24 and give Mr. Dowd his clothes back? And
Ask him to step down to the office immediately.
ask him to step down to the office immediately. There's been a terrible mistake, and Dr. Sanderson would like to explain.
Blaine, apologize!
Thank goodness they haven't put him in the hydro tub yet. She let him out.
Beautiful. And dumb, too. It's almost too good to be true.
Doctor, I feel terrible. I didn't know. Judge Gaffney called this morning and said Mrs. Simmons and her brother would be here, and when they came in, you don't have to be sarcastic.
Oh, don't I? Stop worrying. We'll sort him out now.
Wait, where are you going?
I've got to tell the chief about this. He might want to hear about this himself.
He'll be furious. I know he will. He'll die. And then terminate me.
The responsibility is all mine, Kelly.
No, oh no, Doctor. Tell me it was my fault.
I never mention your name, except in my
But
sleep.
this man Dowd.
Keep him here as long as you can, Kelly.
You're Mr. Dowd?
Ah, Elwood P. Lovely to meet you, my dear. Let me give you one of my cards. If you should want to call me at this number. Don't call me at that one. That's the old one.
Oh, thank you.
A pleasure, my dear. And don't worry if you should lose it. I have plenty more.
Won't you have a seat, Mr. Dowd?
Yeah, thank you. I'll have two.
Dr. Sanderson is very anxious to see you. He'll be in a minute. Please, have a seat.
Oh, I insist. After you.
Oh, I really can't. I'm in and out all the time. But you mustn't mind me. Please, have a seat.
After you.
Can I get a magazine for you to look at?
I would much rather look at you, my dear. If you don't mind. You really are quite breathtaking.
Well, thank you. Some people don't seem to think so.
Some people are blind. That fact is often brought to my attention. Now, I would like to have you meet
Mr. Dowd?
Elwood P.
Mr. Dowd, I am Dr. Lyman Sanderson, Dr. Chung's assistant around here.
Congratulations. It's good to know you, Doctor.
Please, sit down. You've met Miss Kelly, have you, Mr. Dowd?
I've had that pleasure. And now I would like you to meet...
Later on, be glad to. Won't you be seated, please? Because first, I wanted to talk about...
After Miss Kelly.
Sit down, Kelly. Is that chair quite comfortable for you, Mr. Dowd?
Yes, thank you. Would you like to try it?
No, thank you. Is it too warm in here? Would you like me to open up a window?
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Sanderson would like to know if you should open the window.
Well, that's entirely up to him. I wouldn't presume to live his life for him.
Now then, Mr. Dowd, I can see that you're not the kind of person to be taken in by high-flowing phrases or beating around the bush.
Is that so?
You have us at a disadvantage here. You know it, we know it. Let's lay the cards on the table.
That certainly appeals to me, Doctor.
Best way in the long run, people are people, no matter where you go.
That is very often the case.
And being human are therefore liable to mistakes. Miss Kelly and I have made a grave mistake here today, and we'd like to explain it to you.
It wasn't Dr. Sanderson's fault, Mr. Dowd. It was mine.
A human failing, as I said.
I find it very interesting, nevertheless. You and Miss Kelly here this afternoon, you say?
We do hope you'll understand.
Oh, yes. These things are often the basis for a long and warm friendship.
And the responsibility is not hers, but mine.
Your attitude may be old-fashioned, Doctor, but I like it.
Now, Dowd, if I had seen your sister first, that would have been an entirely different story.
Is that so? I mean, I think the world all of Vita, but I had supposed she'd seen her day.
You don't attach any blame to her. She is a very sick woman. Came in here insisting you were in need of treatment. That's perfectly ridiculous.
That was Vita?
Exactly. But your sister had already talked to Miss Kelly here, and we had received a phone call from your lawyer, Judge Gaffney.
I know him. Know his wife too. Lovely people.
Your sister was extremely nervous and plunged right away into a heated tirade of your drinking.
Vita shouldn't worry about that. I'll take care of that.
Exactly. Oh, I suppose you take a drink every now and then, like the rest of us.
As a matter of fact, I do. As a matter of fact, I would like one right now.
Matter of fact, so would I.
Hmm.
But your sister's reaction to the matter of drinking was entirely too intense. Does your sister drink, Mr. Dowd?
No, I don't believe Vita has ever taken a drink.
Well, I'm going to surprise you. I believe she has. And does. Constantly.
I am certainly surprised.
But it's not her alcoholism that's going to be the basis of my judgment. It's more serious than that. It's when she began talking so emotionally about this big white rabbit. Harvey, I believe she called him.
Harvey is his name.
She claimed that you were persecuting her with this Harvey.
I haven't been persecuting her with Harvey. Vita mustn't think that way. And now I must insist that you let me
Let me make my point first, Mr. Dowd. This trouble of your sister's didn't stem from overnight. It came from trauma.
What?
From trauma? Spelled Trauma. It means shock. There is the birth trauma, the shock, the act of being born.
That's the one we never get over.
Have a nice sense of humor, Dowd. Doesn't he, Mrs. Kelly?
Oh, yes.
May I say the same about both of you?
So, well, to sum it all up, your sister's condition is serious. But I can help her. She must, however, remain on site temporarily.
Well, I wouldn't want Vita to stay here unless she wanted to stay here.
Of course. Did Wilson get what he was after?
Oh, yes, Doctor.
What was Mrs. Simmons' attitude, Miss Kelly?
Not unusual, Doctor.
Mr. Dowd, if this were an ordinary delusion, something reflected on a memory. In other words, if she were seeing something she had seen before, it would be understandable. But it stands to reason no one has ever seen a 6-foot rabbit.
Not very often, Doctor.
I like you, Dowd.
I like you too, Doctor. And Miss Kelly here. I like her too.
So she must be committed here temporarily. Under these circumstances, I would commit my own grandmother.
Does your grandmother drink?
It's just an expression. Now, will you sign these temporary commitment papers?
Oh, you should get Vita to do that. She does all the signing for the family. She's very good at it.
Well, we can't disturb her right now.
Perhaps I should talk it over with Judge Gaffney.
You can explain it all to him later. Tell him I advised it. And it isn't as if you could drop in here any time. I'll make out a full visitor's pass for you. What do you say about that? When would you like to visit next? Wednesday, say? Friday, say?
I can come back after dinner, about an hour.
Well, we're pretty busy around here, but I guess it's all right.
Oh, I don't even really have to go. I'm not very hungry.
Well, we're delighted to have you stay, but Miss Kelly and I, we have a lot of work to do. But I tell you what you might like to do.
What might I like to do, Doctor?
We don't usually do this, but just to make sure in your mind that your sister is in good hands, why don't you look around here? If you go through that door, past the diet kitchen, you'll find the observatory, the occupational room, and if you take a left down the hall, you'll find the library and the diet kitchen.
I believe for Vita's sake, I better do that, Doctor.
Very well, then. It's been a great pleasure meeting you, Mr. Dowd.
It's been a great pleasure meeting you too, Doctor, and Miss Kelly here.
And I will say that for a lineman, you show an acute perception to the psychiatric problems.
Is that a fact? I never thought anyone knew anything about psychiatry.
Well, the good psychiatrist isn't found under every bush.
You have to pick the right bush. Since we seem to have enjoyed ourselves so much, can I suggest that you come along with me down to Charlie's bar and we have a drink? When I enjoy people, I like to stick right with them.
Sorry, we're on duty now. Give us a rain check. Some other time, we'll be glad to.
When?
Can't really say right now. We get off duty at 10, you see.
At 10 down at Charlie's bar, then? Kelly?
Well, Dr. Chumley doesn't approve of members of staff fraternizing, but since you've been so understanding, I guess we could manage it.
Lovely. I'll pick you up outside in a taxi at 10 o'clock, then. The four of us will spend a lovely evening down at Charlie's place. I must introduce you to a very dear friend of mine. You said later, so later on it shall be. Goodbye now.
I can finally breathe again.
Boy, that was a close shave, all right. But he seemed to be a pretty reasonable sort of fella. That man was proud. What he has to be proud of, I don't know. You can get to almost anybody if you wanted to. Now, I was looking at Simmons' woman.
Dr. Sanderson? You said you can get anyone if you wanted to. How can you do that?
6 years of specialized training. There's only one thing I don't like about this Dowd business.
What's that?
Having made that date with him. He has left a friend and a great booster of this sanitarium, so I guess I'll go, but you don't have to.
Oh,
No point in it. I'll have a drink with him, pat him on the back, and then leave. I've got a date tonight anyway.
oh yes, by all means. I didn't intend to go anyway. The idea bought me stiff. I wouldn't go if I couldn't go anywhere else in my whole life. I wouldn't go if my life depended on it.
What's the matter with you, Kelly? What are you getting so emotional about?
He may be a peculiar man with funny clothes, but he knows how to act. His manners were perfect.
I saw you giving him the doll puss stare. I didn't miss that.
He wouldn't sit down until I sat down. He told me I was lovely and called me dear. I wouldn't go have a drink with him if you weren't going.
Sure you would. And look at him. All he does is hang around bars, all that corny getting up and bowing. But you let him flatter you. You're a wonderful girl, Kelly.
Now let me tell you something, you.
Miss Kelly,
Yes, Doctor.
tell the gardener to prune more carefully around my prized dahlias along the fence by the main road. They'll be ready for plucking next week. The difficulty of the woman with the big white rabbit, has it been smoothed over?
Yes, Doctor. I spoke to her brother, and he was quite reasonable.
Well, I've had many patients in my day who have seen animals. I've never had one with an animal that large.
Yes, Doctor. I believe she called him Harvey.
Harvey. An unusual name for an animal of any kind. Harvey's a man's name. While I've known quite a few men in my day named Harvey, I've never known an animal of any kind with that name. This case has an interesting face, Doctor.
Yes, Doctor.
I will now go downstairs and look in on this patient. It may be that we can give her my formula 977 on her. I shall advise you on prescribing her the treatment, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Now, if I may ask, what is that hat and coat doing on that table? Whose is it?
I don't know, Doctor. Do you know, Miss Kelly?
No, Mr. Dowd had his on. Perhaps it was one of the relatives?
Hand me the hat. There must be some sort of identification. Here, what's this? What's this? 2 holes cut in the crown of the hat. See?
That's strange.
Some new fad. Hang them up. Put them away. Get them out of here.
Hello, Dr. Chumley.
Ah, there you are, Wilson.
How is every little old thing?
Fair. Thank you, Wilson. Fair.
Someone's gonna have to help me here with this restraining order, restraining attack or something. She's terrible.
We're going up to look in on this patient now, Wilson.
You got me, didn't you? You forgot me, didn't you? I got her corset off all by myself.
We're going up to look in on this patient now, Wilson.
She's in the hot tub now. My God, I left the water running on her.
Willie, remember your promise. Hello, Dr. Sanderson. Willie, you haven't forgotten Dr. Meckler's cocktail party. We promised them faithfully.
That's right. I must go upstairs and look in on a patient now. Be down shortly.
Give a quick little diagnosis, Willie. We don't want to be late to the party. I'm dying to see the inside of that house. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Mrs. Chumley, Dr. Chumley's wife.
I'm glad to know you. I'm Mr. Dowd, Elwood P. Here, let me give you one of my cards. If you should want to call me at that one. Don't call me at that one, that's the old one.
Thank you. Is there anything I can do for you?
What did you have in mind?
You seem to be looking for someone.
Oh, yes. I'm looking for Harvey. I seem to have gone off without him.
Harvey? Is he a patient here?
No, nothing like that.
Does he work here?
No. Harvey is what you might call my best friend. He's also a pooka. Came out here with me and Vita this afternoon.
Where was he when you last saw him?
He was over there in that chair with his hat and coat on the table.
There doesn't seem to be any hat or coat around here anymore. Perhaps he left?
Perhaps. I can't seem to find him anywhere.
What was that word you just said? Pooka.
Yes, that's right.
Is that something new?
No, as I understand it, it's something very old indeed.
Oh, really? I had never happened to have
I'm
heard
not
of that.
surprised at that. I hadn't myself until I met him. I do hope he gets to meet you. I'm sure he'll be quite taken with you.
Oh, really? Well, that's very nice of you to say so, I'm sure.
Not at all. When Harvey takes a liking to someone, he expresses himself quite definitely. And when he's not particularly interested, he sits there like an empty chair or an empty space on the floor. He takes his time making his mind up about people. Choosy, you see.
That's not such a bad way to be off in this day and age.
Harvey's very fond of my sister. Because he's very fond of me and my sister are from the same family. Now, you'd think that feeling would be mutual, wouldn't you? But Vita doesn't seem to care for Harvey. Now, isn't that just the greatest shame, Mrs. Chumley?
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Dowd. I gave up a long time ago expecting my family to like my friends. It's useless.
Well, we mustn't give up trying.
Well, there's no harm in trying, I suppose.
Because if Harvey has said to me once, he's said to me a million times, Mr. Dowd, I would do anything for you. Mrs. Chumley,
Yes?
did you know that Mrs. McKelleney's Aunt Rose is going to drop in on her unexpectedly tonight?
Why, no, I didn't.
Neither did she. I guess that puts you both in the same boat.
Well, I don't know anybody named Mrs.
Mrs. McKelleney, a lovely woman. She lives next door to us. Harvey gave me that little news item about her Aunt Rose. You're welcome to pass it around if you wish.
Well,
My dear, do you have time to pop downtown with me now? I would be glad to buy you a drink.
Thank you very much, but I'm waiting for Dr. Chumley, and if he came down and found me gone, he would be liable to raise. He would be irritated.
Well, we wouldn't want that. Some other time, maybe.
I'll tell you what I'll do, however.
What will you do, however? I'm interested.
If your friend happens to come in here while I'm still here, I'd be glad to give him a message for you.
Would you do that? I'd certainly appreciate that.
No trouble at all. I'll write it on the back of this card. What would you like me to tell him if he comes in here while I'm still here?
Tell him to come downtown, if he has no other plans.
Meet Mr. Dowd downtown. Any particular place downtown?
Oh, he knows where. Harvey knows this town like a book.
Harvey, you know where. Harvey what?
Oh, just Harvey.
I'll tell you what.
What?
Doctor and I are going straight downtown to 12th and Montview. Dr. McClure's having a cocktail party for his sister.
Cocktail party at 12th and Montview.
We're driving there in a few minutes. We could give your friend a lift into town.
Would you do that? I hate to impose, but I would certainly appreciate that.
No trouble at all. Dr. McClure's having this party for his sister from Wichita.
I didn't know Dr. McClure had a sister from Wichita.
Oh, you know Dr. McClure?
No?
But
My dear, are you quite sure you haven't time to come downtown with me now?
I really couldn't. But thank you just the same.
Some other time, perhaps.
Thank you.
It has been a great pleasure getting to know you. I do hope I get to see you again sometime.
Yes, so do I.
Good night, my dear. You can't miss Harvey. He's very tall. Like this.
That Simmons woman was uncooperative, Doctor. She wouldn't admit to me that she has this big white rabbit. Insists it's her brother. Give her 2 of these at 9 and another at 8 if she continues to be so restless. Another trip to the hydro room in the morning at 7, and one at 10. Then we'll see if she won't cooperate, won't we, Doctor?
Yes, Doctor.
You know where to call me if you need me. Ready, Pet?
Yes, Willie. And Willie,
Yes?
there was a man in here. A man named, let me see. Oh, here's his card. Dowd. Elwood P. Dowd.
That's Mrs. Simmons' brother, Doctor. I told him he could have a look around. I gave him full visiting privileges.
She mustn't see anyone tonight. Not anyone at all. Tell him that.
Yes, Doctor.
He didn't ask to see her. He said he was looking for someone. Some friend of his.
Who could that possibly be, Dr. Sanderson?
I don't know, Doctor.
He said it was someone he had come out with this afternoon.
Was there anyone with him, Mrs. Kelly, when he came here?
No, Doctor. Not when I saw him.
Well, he said there was. He said that he last saw his friend sitting right there in that chair with his hat and coat. He seemed quite disappointed.
Dr. Sanderson.
I told him if he located his friend, we'd give him a lift into town. He could ride in the back seat. Was that all right, Willie?
Of course, of course.
Oh, here it is. I wrote it on the back of this card. His friend's name is Harvey.
Harvey?
He didn't give me his last name. He mentioned something else, but I didn't quite get what that was. Pooka.
Harvey?
He said his friend is very tall. Well, why are you looking at me like that, Willie? This man is a very nice and polite man, and he merely asked that we give his friend a lift into town. And if you can't do a favor for someone, why are we living?
Where did he go, Mrs. Chumley? How long ago was he in here?
Hand me that hat. By George, we'll get to the bottom of this.
I don't know where he went, just a second ago.
Main gate? Henry. Dr. Sanderson.
Gaffney. Judge Gaffney.
Henry, did the man in brown suit go to the main gate a minute ago? He did? He's gone?
Judge Gaffney, this is Dr. William Chumley, the psychiatrist. Yes, Judge. I'm calling to make a routine check on the name of a patient before entering it into our records. Judge, you telephoned out here this afternoon about having a client of yours committed. Yes, how is that name spelled? With a W, not a U. A Mr. Elwood P. Dowd. Thank you, Judge. Dr. Sanderson, I believe your name is Sanderson?
Yes, Doctor?
You know that much, do you? You went to medical school, you specialized in the study of psychiatry. You graduated, you went forth. Perhaps they neglected to tell you that a rabbit has large pointed ears, and that a hat for a rabbit would have to be perforated to make room for those large pointed ears.
That would seem reasonable enough this afternoon, sir, and I was just
Doctor, the function of a psychiatrist is to tell the difference between those who are reasonable to those who merely talk and act reasonably. Do you know what you have done to me? No. You don't answer. I'll tell you. You have permitted a psychopathic case to walk off these grounds with a big white rabbit. You have subjected me, a psychiatrist, to the humiliation of having to call, of all things, a lawyer to come out here and find out who came out here to be committed and who came out here to commit.
Dr. Chumley, I am very sorry, and I'm...
Just a minute, Wilson. I want you. I will now have to do something that I have not done in 15 years. I will have to go out after this patient, Elwood P. Dowd, and I will have to bring him back. And when I do bring him back, your connection to this institution is ended, as of that moment. Wilson, get the car. Pat, call the McClays and tell them we can't make it. Miss Kelly, follow me upstairs and we'll get that woman out of the tub.
Yes, Doctor.
I'll have to tell the cook will be home for dinner. She'll be furious. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am?
what is a pooka?
A what?
A pooka.
You can search me, Mrs. Chumley.
I wonder if it would be in the encyclopedia here. They have everything here. I wonder if it's a lodge or what it is. Oh, I don't dare stop to do this now. Dr. Chumley won't want to find me still here when he comes down. He'll race. Oh dear.
P-O-K-A. Pooka, from old Celtic mythology. A fairy spirit in animal form, always very large. The pooka appears here and there, now and then, to this one and that one at his own caprice. A wise but mischievous little creature, always very large. Very fond of rum pots, crackpots. And how are you, Mr. Wilson? How are you, Mr. Wilson? Who in the encyclopedia wants to know?
That's right. The stairs at the end of the hall. Go button up. I'll be with you in a minute.
Well, where is she?
Where is who? Whom do you mean, Judge Gaffney?
I mean your mother. Where's Vida Louise?
Why, Judge Gaffney, you know where she is. She's out taking Uncle Elwood to the sanitarium.
I know that. So, why was I called at the club with a lot of hysteria? I couldn't even tell what she was on about. Carrying on something fierce.
Mother, carry on. Well, what's about?
Well, I don't know. She was hysterical.
Well, that's strange. She took Uncle Elwood out to the sanitarium, but all she had to do was put him in. Oh, did you find it? I'll be with you in a minute. They found it.
Huh? Wait, who? Found what? What are you talking about?
Well, when Mother left the house, I went over to the real estate office, and guess what I found there?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a quiz kid.
Well, I found an old man who was looking for a house like this to cup up into Buffet Apartments. He's going through it now.
Well, now see here, Myrtle May, this house doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your Uncle Elwood.
But now that Elwood's locked up, Mother controls the property, doesn't she?
Where is your mother anyway? Where's Vida Louise?
Judge, I told you, she went to Chumley's Rest to tell them about Harvey and put Uncle Elwood in.
So then why did she call me at the club when I was in the middle of a game and scream at me to come back here to talk about something important?
Well, I don't know. I simply don't know. Have you got the deed to this house?
Certainly, it's in my safe, Myrtle. You know, I feel pretty bad about this whole thing about locking Elwood up.
That's great. Now Mother and I will be able to do a long trip out to Pasadena.
I always liked that boy. He could have been something. Been anything. Made a place for himself in this community.
Yeah, and all he did was get a big rabbit.
He had everything, you know. Brains, personality, friends. Men liked him. Women liked him. I mean, I certainly liked him.
Are you telling me that Uncle Elwood was like other people? Like, women actually liked him in that way?
Oh, not since he started running around with that big white rabbit, but they did once. Once, that mailbox of your grandmother's was filled to the brim with blue scented envelopes, you know, for Uncle Elwood.
Well, I can't believe it.
Oh, of course, there's also something different about Elwood.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah, he was always so calm about any sudden change in plans or anything. I used to admire it, actually. I should have noticed it was something suspicious. Take your average man looking up and seeing a big white rabbit. Surely would have done something about it, but not Uncle Elwood. He was calm about that too. And look where it got him.
You don't dream how far overboard he's gone with this rabbit.
Oh yes, I do, Myrtle. Him and the rabbit have been in my office many a time. What's that noise?
Oh, that's the prospective buyer on the 3rd floor. Mother, look, Judge.
Oh my God, Vida Louise, what's wrong, girl?
I never thought I'd see either of you again.
Well, take hold of her, Judge. She looks like she's going to faint.
Oh.
Now, you're right. You're going to be perfectly all right.
Okay, steady. Steady, girl, steady.
Please, just not so fast.
Yeah, don't rush her, Myrtle. Ease her in.
Let me sit down. Only get me someplace I can sit down.
Okay, here you are, girl. Easy, Myrtle. Easy.
Oh, the gas bill.
Oh God.
Okay, get her some tea. Get her some tea, Myrtle. Would you like some tea, Vida?
I'll get you some tea, Mom. Get her coat off, Judge.
No. Let Myrtle get your coat off, Vida. Get her coat off, Myrtle.
Leave me alone. Let me stay here. Let me get my breath.
Let her get her breath, Judge.
Okay.
And let me sit here a moment, and then let me just guide me to my room where I can just stay there in peace, and I can let go in my own bed.
What happened to you, Mother?
Judge, I want you to sue them. They put me in and let Elwood out.
Hold on. What's this? Hold on,
Mother?
Hold on. What's this?
Mother?
Just look at my hair. Look what they did.
But why? What did you say? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I just simply told them about Harvey.
Then how could it happen to you? I don't understand it.
I don't know. You ask them. I told them about Elwood, and I went down to the cab to get his things. And I was walking along the path when one of the men with the white coat stepped out. That was him. They used those to advertise.
A man? What did he do, Mother?
What did he do? Well, he took a hold of me and took me in there.
Okay, go on.
And then he
Go on, Vita. Go on, girl.
Oh, Mother. Was he a young man?
Myrtle May, perhaps you'd better leave the room.
Now? I should say not. Go on, Mother.
He took me in there and tore my clothes off.
Oh my.
Did you hear that, Judge? Go on, Mother.
Oh my god, I'll sue them for this.
And then he sat me down in a tub of water.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Oh.
I always thought that what you were showed on your face. Don't you believe it, Judge? Don't you believe it, Myrtle? He took a hold of me like I was a woman on the streets. But I fought. I always said that if a man jumped me, I'd fight. Didn't I say that, Myrtle? I did.
She's always said that, Judge. That's what Mother always told me to do.
All right.
Then he hustled me into the sanitarium and set me down in a tub of water and started treating me like I was
A what?
a crazy woman.
Well, I'll be
And
damned.
she did it just for spite.
Well, I'll be damned.
And then those doctor came upstairs and they asked me a lot of questions. All about sex urges and all that filthy stuff. That place ought to be cleaned up. Okay, Judge? You gotta get the authorities to clean it up in there. Myrtle, don't you ever go out there. Do you hear me?
Yes, this stinks to high heaven, Vita. My god, it stinks.
You've just got to do something about it, Judge. You've got to sue them more if you can.
I will, girl. By God, if Chumley thinks he can run an unsavory place like this on the outskirts of town, my God, I'll drive him out of the state. I'll make him sure. I'm not sure he's publicly chastised for this.
Tell me, Judge. Is that all that they think about?
Think about?
Doctors think about sex there?
I don't know.
Because if they do, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's on their head anyway. Why don't they go out there and take a long break with some fresh air? Gaffney walked away for years. Judge, you walked away for years, didn't you?
Okay.
He did.
Now, let me take some notes on this. You said that these doctors came up to you to ask you questions. Dr. Chumley and what was the other doctor's name? Sanderson.
But, Judge, don't you pay any attention to what he says, okay? He's such a liar! Close-set eyes. They're all liars. Besides, I told him something in strictest confidence, and he just blabbed it. It was confidential.
Well, what did you tell him, Mother?
What difference does it make? Let's just forget it. I don't want to talk about it. Okay? You just can't trust anybody right now.
Look, anything you told this Dr. Sanderson, you can tell us, Vita Louise. This is your daughter, and I am your lawyer.
I know which is which, but I just don't want to discuss it right now. I want you to sue them, and I want to get into my own bed where I can finally be in peace.
But, Mother, this is the important thing anyway. Where's Uncle Elwood?
I should have known better than to try to do anything about him. Something protects him. See, it's that awful pooka.
Where is Uncle Elwood? Answer me.
How should I know? They let him go. They are not interested in men in places like that. Don't be so naive, Myrtle May. Okay? What's that noise?
I found a buyer for the house.
What?
Listen, Mother, we've got to find Uncle Elwood. No matter who jumps at you, you've still got to lock up on Uncle Elwood.
Yeah, well, I don't know where he is. The next time you take him. Judge, wait until Elwood hears what they did to me. He won't stand for it. Don't forget to sue them, Judge.
Yes, I won't.
Myrtle May, all I hope is that you never have to experience that for as long as you live. When a man takes your clothes off and dumps you down into a tub of water.
Now see here, Mother snuffed everything. No matter what happened out there, Uncle Elwood is still wandering about with Harvey.
The thing for me to do is take more notes.
It's all Uncle Elwood's fault. He found out what she was up to and had her put in, and then he ran.
Okay, no, don't talk like that, Myrtle. You and I both know that your uncle thinks the world and all of your mother. Ever since he was a kid, the little boy always wanted to share everything he had with her.
I'm not giving up. We'll get detectives. We'll find him. And besides, you better save some of that sympathy for me and Mother. You don't realize what we have to put up with. Wait till I show you something he brought home about 6 months ago. We hid it in our garage. You just wait.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go up to talk to Vita. There is more in this than she's telling. I can sense that.
Wait till I show you, Judge.
All right. I'll wait.
Okay, is he here?
Okay, who? What's this?
That man with the crackpot, is he here?
No, and who, may I ask, are you?
Not here, doctor. Okay. Anyways, Dr. Chum is coming in anyways. What's your name?
Chumley. Well, I've got a few things to say to him.
What's your name? Let's have it.
I am Judge Gaffney. Where is Chumley?
The reason I asked for your name is that the doctor likes to know who he's talking to. This guy says his name is Judge Gaffney, doctor.
Well, Chumley.
Good evening, Judge. Let's not waste any time. Has he been here?
Who? Elwood? No, but see here, doctor.
You sure he ain't been here? He's wise now. He's hiding. It will be an awful job to smoke him out.
It'll be more difficult, but I'll do it. They're sly. They're cunning. But I get them. I always get them. Wilson, do you have the list of places?
Right here, doctor.
I'm so sorry.
I need a piece of paper. I have a list. Exactly. This is where I have the piece of. Why is my paper blank?
All right, I'll wait.
Okay, is he here?
Who? What's this?
That man with that crackpot with the rabbit, is he here?
No, and who, may I ask, are you?
Not here, doctor. Okay, Dr. Chum is coming in anyways. What's your name?
I am Judge Gaffney. Where is Chumley?
The reason I asked for your name is that the doctor likes to know who he's talking to. This man says his name is Judge Gaffney, doctor.
Well, Chumley.
Good evening, Judge. Let's not waste any time. Has he been here?
Who? Elwood? No, but see here, doctor.
You sure he ain't been here? He's wise now. He's hiding. It'll be an awful job to smoke him out.
It'll be more difficult, but I'll do it. They're sly. They're cunning, but I get them. I always get them. Wilson, do you have the list of all the places we've been to?
Right here, doctor.
Read it.
We've been to 17 bars. Eddie's Place, Charlie's Place, Bessie's Barn Dance, the 4th Avenue Firehouse, the 10th, 12th, and 9th Avenue Firehouses, just to be sure. The Union Station, the grain elevator. Say, what does this guy go to a grain elevator?
The foreman is a friend of his. He has many friends, many places.
I simply stopped by here to ask Miss Simmons if she has any other suggestions as to where we might look for him.
Dr. Chumley, I have to inform you that Miss Simmons has requested me to file suit against you
What?
for what happened at the sanitarium earlier this afternoon.
A suit?
Yes, and while we're on that subject,
That's petty, ain't it, Doctor? You dragging us all around town to find that guy.
Listen, what happened here this afternoon was an unfortunate mistake. I've already discharged my assistant who made it. I'm prepared to take full charge of this man's case personally. It interests me, and my interest in the case is something no amount of money can buy. You can ask any of them.
yeah, but this business this afternoon, Doctor.
Water under the dam. That's how I see this thing. I see it this way. Listen, the important item now is to get this man Dowd out of here and take him out to the sanitarium, where he belongs.
That's exactly what I think, Judge.
Let me introduce you to Miss Myrtle May Simmons, Mr. Dowd's niece, Miss Simmons' daughter.
How do you do, Dr. Chumley?
How do you do, Miss Simmons?
Hello, Myrtle.
What? Hi?
Now then, let me talk to Miss Simmons.
Oh, she won't come down now. You tried to get him to talk to her, Judge.
But see here, Myrtle, your mother was manhandled. She was, God knows what she was. But the main thing is the man's approach to her was not professional. It was personal.
Wilson, this is a serious charge.
Dr. Chumley, I've been with you for 10 years. Are you seriously gonna believe? Sorry, what's your name again?
Gaffney. Judge Ilhan Gaffney.
Thanks. You take care of this old blister, Gaffney.
Wilson!
Me! And a dame who sees a rabbit!
It's not Mrs. Simmons who sees a rabbit. It's her brother.
Yes, it's Uncle Elwood.
If you'll come with me, Doctor.
Very, very well, Judge. Wilson, I have a situation here. Wait for me.
Okay, Doctor. So, your name's Myrtle May?
What? Oh, well, yes.
If we grab your uncle, you're liable to be coming on weekdays?
Well, I don't really know. Why?
Well, if you do, I'll be there.
You will? Oh.
If you don't see me right away, don't give up. Stick around. I'll show up.
You will? Oh.
Sure. You heard Dr. Chumley tell me to wait.
Yeah?
Tell you what, I sure could use a sandwich and a cup of coffee.
Well, certainly, if you'll forgive me, I'll precede you into the kitchen.
Yes, sir. You're all right, Myrtle.
What?
Dr. Chumley noticed it right away. He doesn't miss a trick.
What?
Tell you something else, Myrtle. You've not only got a nice build, but kid, you've got the screwiest uncle who's ever stuck his nose inside our nut house.
Hello, Chumley's Rest? Is Dr. Chumley there? Oh, it's Mrs. Chumley. This is Elwood P. Dowd speaking. How are you tonight? Mrs. Chumley, did you by any chance locate Harvey? Don't worry about it, I'll find him. I'm sorry I missed you at the McClure cocktail party. The people were charming, and I was able to leave quite a few of my cards. I waited until you called and said you couldn't come because a patient had escaped. Where am I? I'm here. But I'm leaving immediately. I must find Harvey. My regards to you and anyone you happen to bump into. There it is.
Doctor, you might as well go home. I'm suing you for $50,000, and that's final.
Miss Simmons,
Yes? Well, all right.
this picture over your mantel.
That portrait seems to be the pride of this house.
Who painted it?
Some man, I forget his name. He was around here for the sittings, and we paid him, but he went away. Hello? Yes, no. This is Dexter, 1567.
Well, I suppose if you have the money to pay people, you can persuade them to do anything.
Well, Dr. Chumley, when you helped me out of that tub at your place, do you remember what I said to you?
You expressed yourself. I don't quite remember the words.
I said, Dr. Chumley, this is belated civility. Isn't that what I said?
You said something of the sort.
You brought this up. You might as well learn something for it. I took an art class last winter. The difference between a fine oil painting and a mechanical thing like a photograph is simply this. A photograph only shows the reality, but a painting shows the reality and the dreams behind it. It's our dreams that keep us going, that separate us from the beasts. I wouldn't even want to live if I was just eating and sleeping and taking off my clothes while putting them back on again.
Steady now. Steady. Don't get
Doctor!
Everything's all right. Now then,
Doctor!
what's the matter?
Doctor, that is not my mother!
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, Dr. Elwood's been here! He's been here!
Better be quiet. I'll take it. Hello? Yes. Who is this? Here he is. Here he is, Miss Simmons. It's your brother.
Let me talk to him. Where are you? What? Oh, hello, Elwood. Oh, just a minute. He won't say where he is, but he wants to speak to Harvey. Just wants to know if he's here.
Tell him Harvey's here.
But he isn't.
Tell him. That'll bring him here, perhaps. Humor him. We have to humor them, Miss Simmons.
Yes, Elwood. Yes, dear. Harvey is here. Why don't you come on home? All right. It won't work. He says for me to call Harvey to speak to him.
Say Harvey's here, but he can't come to the telephone. Say he's in the bathtub.
The bathtub?
Say he's in the bathtub and that you'll bring him over there. That way we'll know where he is.
Doctor!
Now you've got to do it, Miss Simmons.
Hello, Elwood. Yes, dear. Harvey is here, but he can't come to the telephone. He's in the bathtub, you see. I'll send him out as soon as he's dry. Where are you? Where, Elwood?
Did he hang up?
No. Harvey just walked through the door. He told me to look in the bathtub. It must be a stranger, but I know where he is. He's at Charlie's place. That's the bar at 12th and Main, I think.
12th and Main. That's 2 blocks down and 1 over, isn't it?
Doctor, where are you going?
I'm going down to get your brother and take him out to the sanitarium where he belongs.
Dr. Chumley, don't do that. Send one of your attendants. I'm warning you.
But, Miss Simmons, if I'm to help your brother...
He can't be helped. There is no way to help him. He must be picked up, locked up, and left.
You consider your brother a dangerous man?
Dangerous.
Why?
I won't tell you why, but if I didn't, why would I be asking permanent commitment to him?
Then I must observe this man. I must watch the expression on his face as he talks to this rabbit. He does talk to this rabbit, you say?
They tell each other everything. It's rather annoying.
What?
I said, of course he talks to him. But don't go after him, Doctor. You'll regret it if you do.
Nonsense. You underestimate me, Miss Simmons.
Oh no, Doctor. You underestimate my brother.
Oh, not to worry at all. I can handle him.
You can handle him. That's what you think. Oh. Myrtle May, can you check to see who's in the bathtub? Oh!
Thank you. I may call again later.
How about the stuff in your room, Doctor? Upstairs?
All packed. Thanks, Wilson.
Stuff you're getting bounced. I get pegged for the one who made the grade.
Those are the breaks.
When you taking off?
As soon as Dr. Chumley gets back.
Did you get a report from the desk sergeant in the police accident bureau?
Not yet. I just talked to the downtown dispensary. I haven't seen him.
It's beginning to smell awfully funny to me. 4 hours he's been gone and not a single word from him. I may not see you again, Doctor. So I just want to say I wish you a lot of luck and I'm mighty sorry you got kicked in the ass for it.
Thanks, Wilson. Good luck to you too.
Look, Kelly, let me know when you hear from the desk sergeant again. If there's no sign of him, I'm going to town and look for him. He should know better than to look for a psycho without me.
I'd like to help look for the doctor too, Wilson.
That's well of you, Doctor. Why after he give you the brush?
I've got no resentment against Dr. Chumley. He's the best in his field. It's my problem not to be able to work with him.
You're not so smart yourself, Doctor.
Thanks, Wilson.
Don't mention it.
Dr. Sanderson?
Yes, Miss Kelly?
I just want to wish you a lot of luck, and I'm sorry to see you leave.
Are you sure you can spare those good wishes, Kelly?
On second thought, I guess I can't. Forget it.
Miss Kelly, this is for nothing. Just a little advice. I'd be careful about the kind of company I kept if I were you.
I beg your pardon?
You don't have to. I told you. It's free. But I saw you Saturday night dancing with that drip in the rose room at the Frontier Hotel.
Oh, did you? I didn't see you.
I'd be a little careful about him if I were you, Kelly. He looked to me like a schizophrenic all the way across the dance floor.
You really shouldn't have given him a second thought, Doctor. He was my date, not yours.
That was his mentality. The rest of him, well.
But she was beautiful, though.
Who?
The girl you were with.
I thought you didn't notice.
You bumped into us twice. How could I help it?
Not that it makes any difference to you, but that girl has a charming disposition, and she knows how to conduct herself.
Funny how she can narrate a better date on a Saturday night.
And she has an excellent mind.
Why doesn't she use it?
Oh, I don't suppose you're supposed to be sincere for the flippant hard shell you have. You're probably compensating for something.
I am not. And don't you use any of your psychiatry on me.
Oh, if I could try something else on you just to see if you'd melt under any circumstance. I doubt it.
You'll never know, Doctor.
Because you interest me. As a case history, that's all. I'd like to know where you get that inflated ego.
If you want the meanest inflated ego case history ever.
Don't run away. Let's finish this.
Well, leave me alone.
Gladly.
Chumley's Rest. Yes, Sergeant. No accident report in the suburbs or in the city. Look, maybe we better... Never mind. They're here now. Mr. Dowd.
Ah, hello, my dear. These are for you.
For me? Oh, thank you.
They're quite fresh, too. I just picked them outside.
I hope Dr. Chumley didn't see you. They're his prized dahlias. Did he go upstairs?
Not knowing, I cannot state. Those flowers are lovely against your hair.
I've never worn burnt orange. Such a trying color.
You would improve any color, my dear.
Thank you. Did Dr. Chumley go over to his house?
I don't know. Where is Dr. Sanderson?
In his office, I think.
Thank you.
Dowd, there you are.
Ah, Dr. Sanderson. I have a cab outside waiting if you and Miss Kelly are free to go now.
Where is Dr. Chumley?
As I said, I do not know.
I don't know, Doctor.
I must apologize for being a few minutes late. I thought Miss Kelly here should have some flowers. After what happened here this afternoon, it really should be you giving her the flowers, Doctor. As you grow older and pretty women pass you by, you will think with deep gratitude of these generous girls of your youth. Shall we go now?
Just a moment, Dowd. The situation since you've been here this afternoon has since changed. I urge you to have no resentments against Dr. Chumley. He's just a friend, and he only wants to help.
That's nice of him. I want to help him too.
So if you begin by taking a cooperative attitude, that's just half the battle. We all have to face reality, Dowd, sooner or later.
Doctor, I wrestled with reality for 40 years, and I'm happy to say that I won out over it. Won't you and Miss Kelly join me downtown at Charlie's?
Oh, here you are. Upstairs, buddy. We're going upstairs. Is the doctor okay?
Oh, there must be some mistake. Dr. Sanderson and Miss Kelly and I are going downtown for a drink. I'd be glad for you to join us, Mr.
Wilson.
Wilson. They have a wonderful floor show.
Yeah? Well, wait till you see the floor show we've got. Upstairs, buddy.
Just a minute, Wilson. Where did you see Dr. Chumley was, Mr. Dowd?
He came over to Charlie's at about dinner time. Cozy spot.
You mean the doctor ain't showed up yet?
Not yet.
Well, where is he?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Mr. Dowd walked in here by himself.
Oh, he did, eh? Listen, you talk faster, I'm working you over.
I'd rather you didn't do that. And I'd rather you didn't even mention such things in the presence of a lovely young lady like
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Chumley went looking for you in town. That was 4 hours ago.
Where has the evening gone to, eh?
Listen to that. Smart, eh?
Just a minute, Wilson. Did you see Dr. Chumley at all tonight?
Oh, yes, I did. He came into Dr. Charlie's at about dinner time. It's a lovely spot. Let's go there now and talk it over with a tall one.
We're going nowhere. No, we're going no place. Okay? Now I'm asking the questions. And if you don't bun up your lip and give me some straight answers, I'm gonna beat it out of you.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
What was that?
Well, you suggest that I button up my lip and give you some straight answers. It can't be done.
Let me handle this, Wilson.
We'll handle it then. We'll find out where the doctor is.
Dr. Chumley did come into Charlie's place, you say?
Yes. He came in and asked for me. Naturally, the proprietor brought him over and left him. He said, "How do you do, Mr. Dowd?" And I said, "How do you do, Dr. Chumley?" I believe we said that at least once.
Okay.
I'm trying to be factual. Well, I then introduced him to Harvey.
To who?
A white rabbit, 6 feet tall.
6 feet?
Well, 6 feet and a half.
Okay, fool around with him again, and the doctor's probably somewhere bleeding to death in a ditch.
But if those were his plans for the evening, he certainly did not tell me.
Go on, Dowd.
Well, Dr. Chumley sat down in the booth with us. I was sitting against the wall, and he was sitting on the outside, across from Harvey, so he could look at me.
That's right. Spend all night on seating arrangements.
Well, Harvey then suggested that I buy him a drink, and knowing that he does not like to drink alone, I suggested to Dr. Chumley that we might join him.
And so?
We joined him.
Go on.
We joined him again.
Then what?
Well, we kept right on joining him.
Oh, skip all the joining.
Well, you're asking me to skip a large portion of the evening.
Tell us what happened. Come on, please.
Dr. Chumley and Harvey got into a conversation quietly at first. Later, it became rather heated, and Dr. Chumley raised his voice.
Yeah? Why?
Harvey seemed to feel that Dr. Chumley should take part in the financial responsibility of the joining, but Dr. Chumley didn't seem to agree with him.
I can believe that part of the story.
Let him talk. Let's see how far he'll go. This guy's got guts.
Well, I agreed to take the whole thing because I didn't want any trouble. Then the other matter came up.
Cut it down with it.
Mr. Wilson, you are a sincere gentleman, but I must ask you not to use that language in the presence of Miss Kelly.
You're right, Dowd, and we're sorry. You say the other matter came up?
Well, there was a beautiful blonde woman, a Mrs. Smethills, I believe, and her escort, and they were seated in the booth across from us. Dr. Chumley went over and explained that they had met once in Chicago. Her escort escorted Dr. Chumley back to me and Harvey, and tried to point out that it would be better for him to manage his own affairs. Does he have any?
Does he have any what?
Does he have any affairs?
How would I know?
Please hurry, Mr. Dowd. We're so worried.
Well, Dr. Chumley then urged Harvey to go with him to Blondie's Chicken Inn, and Harvey wanted to go to Eddie's instead. While they were arguing about it, I went to get a drink, and when I came back, they were gone.
Where'd they go? I mean, where did Doctor go?
Well, I don't know. I had a date out here with Dr. Sanderson and Miss Kelly. I came out to pick them up, hoping that we might run into the Doctor and Harvey later on in the evening and make a party of it.
Okay, you satisfied? You got a story. Okay, you're lying and we know it.
I never lie, Mr. Wilson.
You've done something with the Doctor, and I'm going to find out what that
Don't
is.
touch him, Wilson.
Maybe he isn't lying, Wilson.
That's all this guy is. It's a bunch of lies. You two don't believe the story he tells. Sitting there, talking to a big white rabbit, do you?
Maybe Dr. Chumley did go to Charlie's place.
And he saw a big white rabbit, I suppose.
Well, why not? Harvey was there. Well, at first the Doctor seemed a little frightened of Harvey, but that gave way to admiration as the evening wore on. The evening wore on. That's a nice expression. With your permission, I'll say it again. The evening wore on.
With your permission, I'm going to knock your teeth down your throat.
Mr. Wilson, haven't you some old friends you can go and play with?
The nerve of this guy. He couldn't come out here with an ordinary case of DT. No, he comes out here with a 6th rabbit.
Stimulating as all this is. I really must be getting downtown.
Charlie's place? Is Dr. Chumley anywhere there? He was there earlier this evening with Mr. Dowd. Wait, what? Well, don't bite my head off. That man was mad. He said Mr. Dowd was welcome anytime, but his friend
That's
wasn't.
Mr. McNulty, the bartender. He thinks a lot of me. Let's all go down and have a drink, eh?
Wait a minute.
Mr. Dowd, what is it you do?
Well, Harvey and I sit in the bars and we have a drink or two and play the jukebox. And soon the faces of the other people turn towards mine and smile. They're saying, "We don't know your name, mister, but you're a lovely fellow." Harvey and I, we warm ourselves in all these golden moments. We've entered as strangers soon. We have friends. They come over, they sit down with us, they drink with us, they talk to us, they tell us the big, terrible things they've done, and the big, wonderful things they will do. They tell us their fears and their hopes, their dreams, their loves. All very large, because no one ever brings anything small into a bar. And then I introduce them to Harvey, and he's bigger and grander than anything they have brought me. When they leave impressed. The same people seldom come back, but that is envy, my dear. There's a little bit of envy even in the best of us. Too bad, isn't it?
How did you happen to call him Harvey?
Well, Harvey is his name.
How do you know that?
Well, that was a rather interesting coincidence, Doctor. One night, several years ago, I was walking early in the evening along Fairfax Street, between 18th and 19th. You know that block?
Yes.
Well, I just helped Ed Hickey into a taxi. Ed had been mixing his rye with his gin, and I felt he needed... I started to walk down the street when I heard a voice saying, "Good evening, Mr. Dowd." I turned, and there was this great white rabbit leaning against the lamppost. Well, I thought nothing of that. It's when you have lived in a town like this as long as I have, you get used to the fact that everybody knows your name. Well, naturally, I went over to chat with him. He said to me, "Ed Hickey is a little spiff this evening, or could I be mistaken?" Well, of course, he was not mistaken. I think the world and all of Ed, but he was spiffed. Well, anyway, we stood there and talked. And finally I said, "You have the advantage of me. You know my name, and I don't know yours," right back at me. He said, "What name do you like?" Well, I didn't even have to think a minute. Harvey's always been my favourite name, so I said Harvey. And this is the interesting part of the whole thing. He said, "What a coincidence. My name happens to be Harvey."
What's your father's name, Dowd?
John Frederick.
Dowd, when you were a child, you had a playmate, didn't you? Someone you were very fond of and which you spent many carefree hours with.
Oh yes, Doctor. Didn't you?
Yes. What was his name?
Vern McKelvey. Did you ever know the McElhennys, Doctor?
Nope.
Too bad. There were a lot of them, and they circulated. Absolutely lovely people.
Think carefully, Dowd. Wasn't there someone, somewhere, sometime, which you knew someone by the name of Harvey?
No, Doctor, no one. Maybe that's why I always had such hopes for it.
Come on, Wilson. Let's bring him upstairs.
I'm taking him nowhere. You've made this your show. Now run it. Then letting him sit here, forgetting all about Dr. Trump. Okay, it's your show. You run it.
Come on, Dowd. Come on, Elwood.
Very well, Lyman. But I'm afraid I won't be able to visit with you for very long. I promised Harvey that I would show him the floor show.
Oh boy. Doctor, are you okay?
Okay. Of course I'm okay. I'm being followed. Lock that door.
Who's following you?
None of your business.
How'd you get out here, Doctor? I just saw you go in there.
I went out through my window. Wilson, don't leave me.
No, Doctor.
Get the man Dowd out of here.
Yes, sir.
No, don't leave me.
But you said...
Dumpy, through the telephone.
Yes, Doctor. Dumpy, give that man down his clothes back. Clothes and get him down here right away.
Don't leave me.
Just a minute, Doctor. Just get Judge Gaffney?
I want to see Dr. Chumley.
Hiya, Myrtle.
Hello.
Chumley, we've got to talk to you. This thing is serious.
It certainly is.
More serious than you can imagine. Now, where can we go to talk? Seriously.
Not in there.
Not in there?
The doctor doesn't want you in his office.
No, sir.
Then sit down. Dr. Chumley, sit down. Sit down, Myrtle May. Sit down.
Sit down, Dr. Chumley. Sit down, Myrtle May. Don't go, Wilson. Don't leave me.
Okay, now, Chumley. Here are my notes. I mean, these are my notes, and they're the facts. Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can all hear you. Is that good?
Now, Chumley, has it ever occurred to you that possibly there might be something like this Harvey?
Of course there isn't. And anybody who thinks so is crazy. Well, don't look at me like that. There's nothing funny about me. I'm like my father's family. They're all dead.
Well, now then, my client, the plaintiff, Mrs. Vida Louise Simmons, under oath swears that on the morning of November 2nd, while standing in the kitchen of her home, hearing her name called, she turned around and saw this great white rabbit, Harvey. He was staring at her, and resenting the intrusion, the plaintiff made certain remarks and drove the creature from the room. And the creature went.
What did she say to him?
Yeah, she was emphatic. The remarks are not important.
No. I want to know how she got this creature out of her sanitarium. I mean, her home.
I hate to have you tell them, Judge. It isn't a bit like Mother.
Quit stalling. Let's have it.
Fine. She looked him right in the eye and exclaimed in the heat of anger, "To hell with you!"
To hell with you. He left?
Yes, he left, but that's besides the point, you see. The point is it perjury or is it something we can cope with? I mean, I ask for your opinion, really.
Ruthie, I've been looking all over for you. Dr. Sanderson, disregard what I said to you this afternoon. I want you on my staff. You are a very astute young man.
Oh, Lyman, did you hear?
Oh, baby.
See you later.
You've just got to keep Uncle Elwood out here, Doctor.
No. I want the sanitarium the way it was before that man came out here this afternoon.
Well, I know what you mean.
You do?
Well, it certainly gets on anyone's nerves the way Uncle Elwood knows what's happening before it's going to happen. Like this morning, for instance, he told us that Harvey told him Mrs. McIlhenny's Aunt Rose would drop in on him unexpectedly from Cleveland.
And did she?
Well, did she what?
Aunt Rose, did she come out just as Harvey said she would?
Oh yes, those things always turn out the way Uncle Elwood says they will. But what of it? What do we care about the McIlhens?
You say this sort of thing happens often?
Yes, and isn't it silly? Uncle Elwood says Harvey tells him everything. Harvey knows everything. How could he when there's no such thing as Harvey?
Fly specks! I've been spending my life among fly specks while miracles have been leaning along lampposts on 18th and Fairfax.
Good. Maybe to hear about people.
Oh, Mother, you promised you wouldn't come out here.
Well, good evening. Now, Myrtle May, I brought Elwood's bathrobe. Well, why are you all just sitting here? I thought you'd be committing to him.
Okay, first of all, sit down there, girl.
I will not sit down there. Now, is everything settled?
Yes, it will be.
Doctor, may I give an opinion?
Yes, do by all means.
His opinion? Judge, that's the doctor I told you about. The eyes? Can't you see?
It is my opinion that Elwood P. Dowd is suffering from a third-degree hallucination, and the other party concerned is the victim of autosuggestion. I recommend shock formula 977 for him and bed rest at home for...
You do?
That is my diagnosis, doctor. Mr. Dowd will not see this rabbit anymore after this injection. We've used it in hundreds of psychopathic cases.
Don't you call my brother psychopathic case. There's never been like this in our family, like ever.
Mother, if you didn't think Uncle Elwood was psychopathic, why did you bring him out here?
Where else could I have taken him? I couldn't have taken him to jail. Besides, this is not your uncle's fault. Why did Harvey have to speak to him in the first place?
Yeah.
Out of a town full of people, why did he have to go and chat with Elwood?
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's stop putting your oar in. Keep your oar out. Seriously. If this shock formula brings people back to reality, give it to him. That's kind of where we want Elwood.
I'm not sure that would work in a case of this kind, Doctor.
Why? It always has.
Well, Harvey always follows Elwood home.
He does?
Yes, but if you give him the formula and Elwood doesn't see Harvey, he won't let him in. Then he comes to the door. I'll give it him.
Mother, why don't you stop talking about Harvey as if there were such a thing?
Morone, you've got to learn, and I hope you never learn it.
Here he is. He's here.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Elwood. I brought you your bathrobe.
Oh, thank you, Peter.
Chumley, what do we do? We've got to do something.
Yes, we must.
I should say so.
Yes, it's imperative.
Well, while you're all making up your minds, why don't we all go down to Charlie's for a drink?
You're not going anywhere, Elwood. You're staying right here.
Yes, Uncle Elwood.
Yeah, stay here, son.
Huh. You want me to stay, I want to leave. An element of conflict in any conversation is a good thing. It keeps everybody involved and makes sure no one feels left out. I like that. Oh, how do you get along with Harvey, Doctor?
Shh.
Waiting for your answer, Doctor.
What?
What is your decision?
Oh, yes. I must be alone with this man. Will you all step into the other room? I'll have my diagnosis prepared in a moment.
Do hurry, Doctor.
I will.
You just stay here, Elwood, okay?
Here, Mr. Dowd. Let me give you this chair. Let me give you this cigar. Is there anything else I can get you?
What did you have in mind?
Mr. Dowd, what kind of a man are you? Where do you come from?
Haven't I already given you one of my cards?
And where on the face of this tired old earth did you find a thing like him?
Harvey the pooka.
Is it true that he has a function that he can...
Gets advance notice? I'm happy to say it is. Harvey is versatile. Harvey can stop clocks.
What?
Oh, you've heard that expression, his face would stop a clock.
Yes, but why? To what purpose?
Well, Harvey says he can look at your clock and stop it. And you can go away wherever you like, for as long as you like, with whomever you like. When you come back, 1 minute will have ticked by.
You mean that he actually...
Einstein has overcome time and space. Harvey has overcome not only time and space, but also any objection.
And does he do this for you?
Well, he's willing to at any time, but I've yet been able to think of a place I would rather be. I always have a lovely time wherever I am, whomever I'm with. I'm having a lovely time with you now, Doctor. Cheers.
I know where I'd go.
Where?
I'd go to Akron.
Akron?
There's a cottage camp outside Akron in a grove of maple trees. Cool, green, beautiful.
My favorite tree.
I would go there with a pretty young woman, a quiet woman, a strange woman.
Under a tree?
I wouldn't even want to know her name. I'd simply be just Mr. Brown.
Why wouldn't you want her to know her name? You might be acquainted with the same people.
I would send out for cold beer. I would talk to her. I'd tell her things that I've never told anyone, things that are safe in here. And then I would send her for more cold beer.
No whiskey.
Beer is better.
I suppose she might like a highball.
I wouldn't let her talk to me, but as I talk, I would want her to reach out a soft hand and stroke my head and say, "Poor thing. Oh, you poor thing."
And how long would you like that to go on?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? 2 weeks of just cold beer at Akron. Poor thing. Wouldn't that get a little monotonous?
No, it would not. It would be just wonderful.
I still can't help but think that you're making a mistake with not letting her speak. If she gets out at all, she might have picked up some very interesting news tidbits. And personally, I would prefer whiskey, but I suppose it is your 2 weeks.
Cold beer at Akron and one last fling. God, man.
Would you like to lie down for a little while?
No. Tell me, Mr. Dowd, would he do this sort of thing for me?
Well, he could, and he might. I've never heard Harvey say a word against Akron. Where is Harvey, by the way?
Why? Don't you know?
Well, the last time I saw him, he was with you.
Ah.
Oh, that's right. He must be waiting for me down at Charlie's.
That's it. He's down at Charlie's.
Well, I'll be off then. Excuse me.
No, Mr. Dowd. Not in there.
Well, I couldn't leave without saying goodbye to my dear friend, Dr. Sanderson.
Mr. Dowd, Dr. Sanderson is not your friend. None of these people are your friend. I am your friend.
Thank you, Doctor, and I am yours.
And this sister of yours, she's at the bottom of this conspiracy against you. She's trying to persuade me to have you locked up. Today, she had commitment papers drawn up. She's got your power of attorney and the key to your safety box. She's the one that brought you out here.
My sister did all that in one afternoon. Rita certainly is a whirlwind, isn't she?
God, man, haven't you any righteous indignation?
Doctor, my mother always used to say to me, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, she always called me Elwood. She'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. For years I was smart. I recommend pleasant, and you can quote me on that.
Just the same. I will protect you if I have to commit her. Would you like me to do that?
Oh no, Doctor. Not unless Vita wanted it that way. Not that you don't have a nice place out here. I just think Vita would be happier at home with me and Harvey in Myrtle Way. Miss Kelly, diviner grace has never brightened this enchanting face. Ovid's fifth elegy. My dear, you will never look lovelier.
And I'll never feel happier, Mr. Dowd. I know it.
Well,
Yes, Doctor.
I wonder if I'd be able to remember any more of that poem.
Say, maybe this rabbit gag is a good one. Kelly never kissed me.
Ovid has always been my favourite poet.
Okay, pal, you're discharged. This way out.
Wilson, take your hands off that man.
What?
Apologize to Mr. Dowd.
Apologize to him. This man with the rabbit.
Apologize.
Fine. I apologize. This is the door.
I'll remember it if I have to leave.
Wait a minute, Mr. Dowd. Do women often come up to you and kiss you on the cheek like Miss Kelly did just now?
On occasion,
Yes?
I encourage it too.
To hell with decency. I've got to have that rabbit. Go ahead and knock.
Dr. Sanderson, I simply couldn't leave without...
Doctor, do you agree with my diagnosis?
Yes. Call them in.
Thank you, Doctor. Miss Simmons, Judge Gabby, will you step in here for a minute, please?
I think that's all.
Yes, I find I concur with Dr. Sanderson.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a relief.
Oh, good boy.
Well, let's celebrate. I've got some new bars listed in the back of this book.
This injection carries a violent reaction. We can't give it to him without his consent. Will he give it?
Of course he will, if I ask him.
To give up that rabbit? I doubt it.
Well, don't ask him, just give it to him.
Blondie's Barn Dance, Bessie's Chicken Inn, Benny's Drive-In.
Elwood!
Benny's Drive-In it is. We should probably call to reserve a table. How many of us will there be, Vita?
Oh, Elwood!
Mr. Dowd, I have a formula, 977, that I think will be good for you. Will you take it?
Elwood, you won't see this rabbit anymore.
But you will see your duties, your responsibilities.
Well, I'm sure if you made it, Doctor, it's a fine thing. And if I happen to meet anyone who might have need of it, I'll be sure to tell them. But for me, I wouldn't care for it.
Hear that, Judge? Hear that, Doctor? That's what I have to put up with.
Do you want me to take it, Vita?
Elwood, I'm only thinking of you. You're my brother, and I've known you for years. I would do anything for you. But that Harvey wouldn't do anything for you. Elwood, he's making you a fool. Don't be a fool.
Oh, I won't.
Why? You could amount to something. You could be sitting on those Western Slopes waterboard right now if you just would have gone over there and asked.
Well, if that's what you want, Vita, me and Harvey will go over there tomorrow and ask.
Tomorrow? I never want to see another tomorrow. Not if mortal man I have to live in that house with that rabbit. None of our friends come and visit us. We have no social life. We have no life at all, really. We're both miserable. I wish I were dead. But maybe you just don't care.
I've always felt that Vita should have everything she wants. Are you sure, Vita? Very well then, I'll take it.
In Dr. Sanderson's office, Dowd.
Say goodbye to the old fellow for me, will you?
How long will this take, Doctor?
Oh, just a minute. Why don't you wait?
We'll wait.
Dr. Sanderson said it.
Now, Mother, don't fidget.
How can I help it?
How stunning. Could you see me in a housecoat of this material?
Yes, dear, but let me get a good night's rest first.
Come in. What do you want?
I'm looking for a short... Oh, there you are. Lady, you left my cat without paying me.
Oh, yes, I forgot. How much was it?
All the way out here? 2.75.
275?
Yep.
I could have sworn I brought my coin purse. Myrtle, do you have any money I could give this man?
No, I spent the money Uncle Elwood gave me for my new hairdo for the party.
Judge, do you have 275 I could give this person?
Sorry, nothing but a check.
We don't take checks.
Yeah, I know that.
Dr. Chumley, do you have 275 that I could borrow to fix that driver?
I haven't got my wallet. No time to get it now. Have to get on with this injection. Sorry.
Well, I'll have to get it from my brother, but I can't get it right now. He's doing something very important and he has an injection. It won't take long, but you'll just have to wait.
Your brother is in there to get that stuff, and they should have here.
Yes, but it will only be a few minutes, so.
Lady, I want my money now.
But I told you it would only be a few minutes. I want you to drive us back to town anyways.
And I told you I want my money now, or else I'm nosing back my cab to town, and you can wait for the bus, 6 in the morning.
Well, of all the pig-headed, stubborn things.
I shouldn't say so.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Nothing, but that's 2.75 won't fix. You hear me? Take it or leave it.
Well, I've never heard of anything so unreasonable in my life. Dr. Chumley, will you let Elwood come out here a minute? This cab driver just won't wait.
Don't be too long.
Elwood, I came without my coin purse. Will you give this man 2.75? But don't give him any more. He's being very rude and unreasonable.
How do you do? Dowd is my name, Elwood P.
Lovegren's mine, Nita J.
This is my sister, Mrs. Simmons, my charming little niece, Myrtle May Simmons, Judge Gaffney, and Dr. Chumley.
Hi.
Have you lived around here long, Mr. Lofgren?
Yeah, I've been living here all the rest of my life.
And do you enjoy your work?
It's okay. I've been driving Apex cab for 15 years, and my brother Joe is with Brown cab, near 12.
You drive for Apex and your brother Joe for Browns? That's interesting, isn't it, Pete? Mr. Lofgren, let me give you one of my cards.
Better get on with this, Mr. Dowd.
Oh, of course. 1 minute. Me and my sister and my charming little niece live here at this address. Won't you come by someday with your brother for dinner?
Sure, be glad to.
When would you be glad to?
I can't come any night, but Tuesday. I'm on duty all the rest of the week.
Ah, well then you must come on Tuesday. We'll expect you and your brother and be delighted to see you, won't we, Vita?
Well, Elwood, I'm sure he has many friends of his own.
Vita, one can't keep too many friends.
Elwood, don't keep Dr. Chumley waiting. That's just rude.
Of course. Here you are. Keep the change. I'm glad to have met you, and I'll expect you on Tuesday with your brother, if you'll excuse me now.
Sure. Sweet guy.
Certainly. Well, you could have just waited.
Oh no, listen, lady. I've been driving this route for 15 years. I drove them here to get that stuff and drove them back after they had it. And it changed them.
Well, I certainly hope so.
And you ain't kidding. When I'm driving, they sit back and enjoy the ride. Sometimes we stop and watch the sunset and the birds flying. Sometimes we stop and watch the sunsets when it's raining, and watch the birds when there are no birds. But afterwards,
Afterwards, What do you mean afterwards,
They yelled me to watch the light, watch the brake, watch the intersections. They yelled me to hurry. They got no faith on me or my buggy. Yeah, it's the same cab driver, and we're going over the very same road. Glad I met you. I'll wait.
But my brother would have tipped you anyways.
After he won't be. Lady, after this, he'll be perfectly normal human being, and you know what bastards they are.
Judge Gaffney, stop it. I don't want Elwood. I don't want Elwood to take it. Elwood, come out here.
Hey, Vita, you can't do that. Dr. Chumley's giving him the injection.
Mother, stop this.
I don't want Elwood to have it. I don't want Elwood that way. See, I don't like people like that. Exactly.
Do something with the judge. Mother, stop this.
You shut up! I've lived longer. I remember my father. I remember your father. I remember everything. So just
What's this? What's all this commotion?
What's the trouble, Doctor? She sounded off again?
She wants to stop the injection.
you haven't already given it to him, have you?
No, but we're ready. Take Mrs. Simmons away, Wilson.
Leave me alone. Get your silly hands off me.
God, hey, Vita, you don't know what you want at this point. You didn't want that rabbit either.
And what's wrong with Harvey? If Elwood and Myrtle may have to live with Harvey, that's nothing to you. You can't even come around. It's our business. Elwood! Elwood!
There, Vita. Vita is all tired out. She's done a lot today.
Have it your own way. I'm not giving up my game at the club. Actually, no. I'm not giving up my game at the club again at all at this point. No matter how big the animal is. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Elwood, let's get out of here. I need this. I don't want business here.
But
I've never seen it.
see, here,
It's whatever Vita says, Doctor.
Wow. Look at this. I could have paid that taxi cab myself. I knew what. Harvey.
Good night, Dr. Chumley. Good night, Mr. Wilson.
Come along, Elwood.
Doctor, for years I've known what my family thinks of Harvey. But I've often wondered what Harvey's family thinks of me. There you are. Doctor, do you mind? You're standing in his way. Where have you been? I've been looking all over for you.